Hey Facebook, I'll be right here. This is Rich Fontaine, Daily Motivation, 365 days of staying consistent and mastering our crafts and doing the best things we have to do in life in order to get to our goals. And today I want to drop a quick message, which I think is very important. And I think we all know this intuitively, but even I still make this mistake. And it's something that I feel just the kindness of people's heart, we tend to make this mistake. But at the same time, we always still have to look at life very realistically and see that some things are just not cut and dry, which is what people say. Talk is cheap. I remember I'm from the 90s, just listen to the DMX song, Rough Riders. And he used to say, talk is cheap, mother. It's cheap. I mean, talk, you can get pennies on the dollar. Talk is very simple. It doesn't take you that much energy. It doesn't even take that much thought to talk. But it takes a lot more to listen and to execute. The most dangerous person in the room is not the person that gets the most attention. The most dangerous person in the room is the person quiet, observing, and soaking in. That's the most dangerous person in the room because they're taking everything. While everyone's talking and socializing, that person is soaking all the information in. They're listening. They're dissecting. They're analyzing. And that's the most dangerous person in the room because that person is taking in what's giving out. Versus the other person that's talking, you have no time to listen. All you're doing is talking. And what I notice is when you listen to what people say, some people won't tell you the truth for many different reasons. One, they may not have it and they don't want you to know it. Two, they may not want you to be on their same level, so they're fearful. Or even three, they just created a habitual habit of BSing. They can't help it. There's just some people that just can't really help it. Truly, I met them. They just can't help it. They just lie, or they fib, or they screw up the truth slightly just because it's something for them to do. And what I noticed once I was working at insurance, and I had a manager, he was, top in sales in the company. And I told him, hey, I want to learn right under you. I want to know how can I be top salesman in the company. And what he said was, all right, so this is what you do. You want to make about 3 sales per week. You're probably going to make an average of 50 calls per day. 50 calls per day. So times 5, that's 250 calls per week. And if you really want to be good, you want to do 300 calls per week. And I said, okay. And I started doing that, and I started getting drained. I mean, because you do your spiel, you push, then the person doesn't buy, then you have to hang up the phone call again. And it seemed like I was whirling around in circles. But I'm like, man, I'm doing what he's saying. But I'm not making the sales he's making. So then I started watching what he was doing. What he was doing was he was going through a particular lead source that he had to pay for to get more quality leads. The leads he was getting were recycled leads. What he gave us was more, he was using way more good leads. So I saw the program, I was over his shoulder, he didn't notice I was looking, and I wrote down the program he was using. And then I called them up that same day and I said, hey, listen, I want to get your leads. And she said, well, it's going to be $500. I'm like, $500? Okay, at the time, I just switched jobs, so I didn't have any money. So I said, okay, cool. Let me call you back in 2 weeks. I started with a part-time job, and I just worked that part-time job so I could get that $500, but it ended up becoming a full-time job. And so I started doing the insurance part-time. But what I did was I used those same lead source. Once I got the 500, I put it in, and then I did 1,000, and then 1,500. Then I became #1 salesperson in 2-3 weeks straight. 2-3 weeks straight, I became the #1 salesperson. Why? Because I didn't do what he said, I did what he did. Many times we're looking at influencers and we're listening to people, we're reading books, and we're just listening to what they're saying, but we're not watching what they do. That's why I love listening to biographies. I love watching interviews. I love going through the history of these people. Why? Because I watch what they do, not what they say. What they say could be completely different from what they actually did. And what they actually did, what they did got them what they were, not what they said. And many times you're going to make deals with people. You're going to come around and you're going to say, hey, man, I want to make a partnership with you. Watch what these people do. I told a person once, they said, hey, Rich, I want to partner up with you. I said, okay, cool. I want to have dinner with you and your wife. And he said, well, why? I mean, we're having the deal. It has nothing to do with my family. I said, it has everything to do with your family. How you treat your wife, how you treat your family is a direct correlation to the person you are. And not what you say, because everybody could talk a good game, but what you actually do, how you execute on a daily basis, everything you do, how you use every second of every waking hour. Ask my wife, I utilize every second of every moment of every single day. Every single moment of every second of every single day. So she trusts when I say something. She said, well, Rich said it, I trust him because he sees it. It's not what I say, it's how I execute. She said, hey, Rich said he's going to make those calls, he makes those calls. If Rich said he's going out and he's going to go push some books, he's going out and pushing some books. 3 o'clock, it doesn't matter. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. 5 a.m. every morning. I don't have to do that. I do it because I execute. Most people say, oh yeah, man, I get up early. Oh yeah, I grind. Okay, what did you do the last 2 weeks? How did you use your seconds? How did you use your minutes? How did you use your hours? And most people can't even tell you, well, you know, I did a couple here, ran a couple of errands. I can tell you exactly what I did every morning. I'll tell you, I had the same routine. Wake up, meditate, go do my classes, go work out, go make a live, go do a drive, and go answer emails. Every single day is the same thing. So I execute every day. So what I do, you could take to the bank, not what I say. So even if you're listening to me on here, I want you to not to pay attention so much to the words that's coming out of my mouth. I want you to pay attention to that Rich committed to 365 days, and he's going hard 365 days. It's not what he says that makes him the man that I admire. It's what he does. And if you're looking at be the person that people can admire by doing what you're going to say. So if you're going to say it, make sure you do it. If you're not going to do it, don't say it. A lot of people talk. Talk is easy. Talk is cheap. It's pennies on the dollar. But it takes real push, real mastery, real effort to execute. And that's the only people I like to vibe with. People that don't let excuses. Man, if I had $1 for every excuse I've heard, I'd be a rich man. I hear it all the time, constantly. Oh, Rich, yeah, I was going to be there, but... Oh, yeah, I was going to do that, but... Hey, man, this was going to happen, but... Man, we were going to get there, but... I can't take buts to the bank. I can only take execution. So if you want to go to your next level, if you want to be the consistent person that I know you can be, if you want to get to that success that I know that you want, if you really want to get there, I can only tell you one way, is do more than you say. And if you're going to say what you're going to do. And then do it. And make sure that it gets done. No matter the reason, no matter the circumstances, no matter the environment. Because that's the person people trust and will go to. Not the person that just talks. It's hot in here. So either you could agree with me or not agree with me. But either way, I feel this was a successful conversation. Love is love. Appreciate all of you. Thanks you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Jazz. Anyone watch this later or right now, I appreciate the love. I appreciate all of you. Namaste.